These are the ingredients that we use to make various curries. Today we're going to be making steak curry and also vegetables, potato, carrots and peas and cauliflower. And over here just onions. You can buy either red ones or Spanish onions, yellow onions. These are Serrano Peppers, pretty hot. And this is ginger and this garlic. And these are the three main ingredients: the turmeric, the red chilies, ground red chilies, and a mixture of different, we call it masala, but different peppers. And of course the beef. And the coconut oil, you can use olive oil or canola oil or coconut oil or even butter, and salt and diced tomatoes. Now all we need to do is put them together in a fashion that will produce a nice curry, and hot too. Alright, so let's start first of all with the onions. So be careful how you cut the onions. We don't want any blood in the curry. And usually for a curry, two of these would be good. And then for a meat curry, probably maybe 3 of them. And you can never start too young to learn how to cook. So we have a studio audience here of my grandchildren. They're going to learn how to cook.
You want to go sit down? Go say hi. Go sit next to
This is Brianna, my granddaughter, and Penelope, my other granddaughter. And we paid them already with donuts, so they may be a bit hyper, but you're going to sit down and learn. And another one. So the whole process probably takes more than maybe an hour and a half to an hour and 3/4. So we're going to be making 2 curries, one vegetable curry and the other one beef curry. We're going to try and keep them separated from one another so that people that are vegetarians mix those.
Can I go sit next to Grandpa?
So as I said, for the beef, probably 3 onions, and then for the vegetable, not so many. Just 2 would be sufficient.
Come here, come here. Just stand here so you can smell lunch. You can stand next to him. Just don't get in his way.
Yeah, you can come around here.
You can go around there. Just don't get in his way.
Not in front of the knife, anyway.
We made a poster.
Yeah, have a good look so you know exactly what to do.
Come stand next to, so just sit with the girls for a minute. You can bring your milk, that's fine.
We're here in Brentwood. This is my son's house and my daughter-in-law. And they graciously allowed us to use their back garden to make these curries. On the weekend we were here with our mouth department, end of the term get together.
Noah's there now.
And this is Noah,
Say hi.
my grandson, who's going to be a great chef. Be careful how you cut, don't be too fast. You don't want fingers in there. And definitely no blood.
Penny, go on.
Onions can be slippery, so you really
Wow.
have to be careful. And they can be very emotional, the onions that is, and you can end up shedding tears. You hold that? Don't lick it. Now that we've got all the onions cooked, there was 3 for the beef curry and just a couple for the vegetable curry. And so now we're gonna use coconut oil, so something like that, not too much of it. One of the helpful things about coconut is a higher temperature, and so the onions get done a lot quicker than they would with regular oil. Now, you don't want too much of it, so we'll just put some in here, a little bit more in here, some more onions in this one, and then we're going to put these on the cooker and let those brown for a little while we cut up the spices in terms of the Serrano peppers and ginger and garlic. And once we've blended them, we're going to introduce those to the onions towards the end, because if you put them in right at the beginning, it gets really sticky at the bottom. So we're going to put these on the stove while we do the other stuff. Two, and keep the meat away from the vegetables. Just get these going a little bit first. Here are the other ingredients. This is ginger. Just take the skin off, and then we're going to cut it into little pieces, and then we're going to blend it, and then introduce it to the onions just before they are ready to brown. And that way it won't stick to the bottom and cause problems. So again, careful. You can get these at the regular store. Safeway will carry these. Ginger, and then those are the Serrano peppers. So let's take the skin off these. Garlic, probably just need 1 clove or just half of one for 1 curry, but since we're doing 2, we have 1. Just pry them all open, bring them off. And all we need to do is chop off the end and then take the skin off. And then later on we'll chop them up into smaller pieces, and then we'll blend all of these 3 together and put them in the curries. So probably 5 or 6 would be fine for each curry. The meat usually takes more than the vegetable ones.
That is.
Mm-hmm. So the right end would be helpful. Okay. And last of all, the Serrano peppers. What I need to do is cut the ends off. Be careful that you don't, when you cut these, especially when you're touching the inside, that you don't accidentally touch your eyes, because that will make them burn. So you want to cut them down the middle, and then just cut them. As I say, be careful once you have your hands touching the inside. Don't touch your skin, and certainly don't touch any sensitive areas like your eyes. That will make it burn. Should we try it, Noah?
No.
Oh.
Should I what?
Huh?
Touching your
Touching
eye.
your eyes.
Nope.
No?
I don't want my eyes to burn.
Oh? Well, they'll burn alright.
They'll burn into fire.
Yep.
Into flames.
And they'll make you cry more than the curry will. Okay, so now we've got everything ready, so we chop them up into small pieces, not too small, because we're going to put them in a blender and blend them all together. And the onions are just about ready to receive all of this, so we'll blend these and put them in for maybe no more than 5-10 minutes, and the onion and these will all be ready to move on to the next step. So let's go take these over to the blender. Just introduce them again. I'm touching them with my hands to make sure that I'm not going to touch my eyes afterwards. You can leave all the seeds of the serranos in there, that'll make them nice and hot. Just introduce them to that. Put the top on and blend it away. Careful. So as you can see, the onion are getting brown. So we're just going to eat into some of this into the vegetable, not as much into the vegetable because it doesn't soak in the spices so well, so it makes the curry very hot. But the meat does. So we're going to put most of it in the meat, a little bit more in here, but most of the rest of it is going to go in here, into the meat. have to get it out. So the last 10 minutes or so, the onions will be done, and then we'll be ready to introduce the diced and blended tomatoes. And then after that, add the spices, and then that will be then the base of the curry. And then all that remains is for us to introduce the main ingredients, the beef and the other one the vegetables, and then let it cook maybe 30 to 35 minutes, and everything should be fine and ready to go. And these are the tomatoes for the base, and what we do, we can blend them, just put them in a blender, probably 1 can for each curry. We'll probably put a little bit more of it into the meat than the vegetable. So just put them in there and down, and just blend it. And just one last look at the vegetables. So that's how it looked like, browned onions. And this is for the meat. As you can see, it sticks a little bit to the bottom because we've got the garlic and the ginger and the Serrano Peppers in. So we don't want to make them dark brown, but brown enough. So, some into the vegetable, and then the rest into the meat. And then with that, you can put a little bit of too much water, so just get the rest of it out of there. And now what we're going to introduce is the spices. Now we add the spices. So this is called the garam masala. You can order in any Indian store. So usually we want about, for the vegetables, I would say about 2 spoonfuls in. Like heaped spoonfuls. And then into the beef that takes a little bit more, I would say about 3, and then also the, oh, getting too close to this. Oh, you got it? 9? Oh. Yes, we got this open.
Honey. No.
Mix those in. And then the next ingredient is the turmeric. And you usually only want to put half as much as the brown masala that we put in. So maybe got 1, 2, but not heaped, and then just 1 in the vegetable one. This is what gives you the yellow. And last of all is the red hot chilies. Now since we put in the green serranos that will make it hot. So we don't want to put a lot of the red in. It gives it a different kind of hotness. So for the meat one, I'll probably put half a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more for people that like it. And then definitely not as much in the pepper because in the vegetable, because they won't soak as much of that in. And so we just mix it all in, and that is the base
No, that one.
of our curry. And into that we're going to introduce, makes you sneeze too, so watch out, introduce our main ingredients. And so I'm going to switch these off at this point, and then until we get our ingredients ready. And just to add a little bit of salt. So again, not too much. Probably good. Then you can salt to taste. A bit more in terms of the beef. But again, you can always add salt individually. So this, as I said, is the base of the curry now. And all we're going to do is get the ingredients ready, add a little bit of water so it doesn't burn, and then let it cook. So the next thing we're going to do is take these off the stove, because otherwise they'll keep cooking. And now we're going to get the ingredients ready, and then we'll put it all together. Introduce the vegetables in. I didn't put the peas in because they get done pretty easily, so we'll put those in at the end. But we do it into some water in here, a little, just enough so that we can, and then give it a good stir. Keep this one going as well. Give it a good stir. Mix up all the spices in there. See the potatoes going yellow already. And then we're just going to let it sit. Maybe just put a little bit more. A little bit more. And then let that sit and heat. And the same here. Oh, we can get the meat out. I'm going to put some water in here because I don't want it to burn. And then now we have to get the meat, the beef ready cut up to introduce into that. And then we'll let it sit. I brown it because a lot of fat comes off the mincemeat. And so then I drain the fat off before I put it into the curry. But you're not going to get that fat off this, so that's why we don't need to brown this. But we do need to cut it a little smaller. So I'm going to put it into there. Beef all cut up, and now it's just going to go into the mixture. And again, we're going to add a little bit of water, maybe a can full, so it doesn't burn. So about a can full of water, mix it in. And then let it cook about 30-40 minutes, and that'll be done. Here's the end product. This is the beef with some peas in. Just have to make sure that the beef is tender. Hopefully it is. And this is the potato and peas, which is more of a drier curry. So is the beef actually, but some are more watery, like chicken curry would be more watery. Alright. Now we just have to make sure it tastes good. Like and subscribe to this video. Thank you.